a nation and the people on the move, keeping you up to date. Belmopan Weekly.
Tonight on Belmopan Weekly, the Ministry of Education continues to make good on its pledge to the South. The government of Belize breaks ground on a new center for the mentally ill and homeless. Plus, we catch up with the Minister of Transport, Honorable Melvin Halls, to discuss issues affecting commuters. These and more top news stories. Good evening, and thanks so much for being with us on this Thursday, the 17th of November. I am Carolyn Crawford. No other administration has erected and instituted more educational facilities and structures than this present government. And now, yet another, make that 2 additional educational facilities were inaugurated this week alone. Belmopan Weekly's Rudy Aguilar travels south to bring you the latest.
Yes, it was all celebrations and dance and singing throughout Stancrick on Wednesday of this week. No, they were not rehearsing for Garifuna Settlement Day celebrations, but the joy and high spirits reverberated throughout the community as 2 newly built school buildings were inaugurated in a single day. A Gulisi Community Primary School project and a new classroom building for Stancrick Ecumenical Junior College. Special guest speaker at both events, Honorable Patrick Faber, Minister of Education and Youth, seized the opportunity to remind those present that his government, and specifically the Ministry of Education, is doing the most in the Stancrick district.
You know that they have said time and time again, and maybe some of you are included in that, and maybe it was rightly so said, that the south of this country has been long forgotten, that it is neglected, that it does not get its fair share of the pie. Well, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that if that was the saying, and to some extent it may still be true in other areas of this country's development and of this district's development, it cannot and should not any longer be said about educational opportunities in this district. But I'm telling you that over the last couple of years, the contributions that this government has made to education here in the south, not only in the Stancrick district, but also in the Toledo district, has been tremendous compared to what has happened over the many years.
The new Gulisi school building was constructed to accommodate a future second story. The new school will also serve as a shelter in the event of an emergency. Later that same afternoon, the official inauguration of a new Stancrick Ecumenical Junior College classroom building took place at the project site in Dangriga. Daniel Cano, Executive Director of the Social Investment Fund, spoke about the project and its financing.
The SIF is very happy to be at these inauguration ceremonies, and today is no exception as we launch this project that has seen the construction of a 1-story reinforced concrete school building with 3 classrooms, male and female bathrooms, and a building constructed for future expansion. The entire project has costed a little over $380,000 Belize. It has been financed by the government of Belize through the Commonwealth Debt Initiative Program.
For Belmopan Weekly, I am Rudy Aguilar.
Both projects were implemented by the Social Investment Fund, which is the government's primary agency for the implementation of projects aimed at the reduction of poverty in Belize. Since 2008, SIF has implemented 20 major projects in the Stancrick district alone, valued at $6.7 million. It's a topic that not many wish to speak about that nevertheless affects a significant portion of our Belizean population. We're referring to mental illness. Recognizing that those afflicted also have needs and rights, the government of Belize, through the Social Investment Fund, has identified grounds for the construction of a mental health daycare/resource center. Belmopan Weekly was at the groundbreaking ceremonies on Monday of this week.
$568,000 That is the sum to be invested in the erecting and furnishing of the Mental Health Daycare and Resource Center, to be located at the corner of Tibruce and Vernon Street in Belize City. The facility will provide a place of refuge from the street for a segment of the homeless population. It will also provide a means of social support and could play a role in building the self-esteem of non-institutional patients with mental and substance abuse disorders. It is also the hope that some of the beneficiaries may become paid employees involved in the functioning of the daycare center. Belize City Mayor Zenaida Moya spoke of the perceived advantages of such a facility.
Today, the launching of this Lake Independence Mental Health Day Care Resource Center project by SIF and the Mental Health Association will definitely be a start of a new chapter in combating and assisting the mentally challenged persons in Belize. And even the location of this daycare resource center is ideal, for not only will family members be able to bring their loved ones to the clinic, but perhaps those affected with the mental health illness will be able to walk in themselves to get the assistance that they require to live as independent human beings.
Minister of Health, Honorable Pablo Marin, could not be present but tasked his able Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Peter Allen, to deliver a heartfelt message on his behalf.
This morning, I would especially like to congratulate our trusted partners at the Mental Health Association for their strong commitment and constant advocacy for this oft neglected area of the health system. I really do have to specially recognize Jenny Lovell, Kathy Esquivel, Lindy Jeffrey, Tony Nyson, Wayne Usher, Dr. Cayetano and her staff. It's not always easy, but they have always challenged the ministry both respectfully and constructively for us to do more and to do better, and we appreciate that partnership.
Actual construction for the much anticipated Mental Health Daycare Resource Center is expected to start no later than next week. Up next, more for top news stories. Stay with us. Every day, passengers traveling private or public transports litter our highways. While we know that it is a serious form of pollution, we continue to ignore that it comes at a high cost to us. The Solid Waste Management Authority and the Department of the Environment continue to monitor pollution and are known to issue tickets of up to $500 to any company or organization found littering. Passengers are also liable to be fined up to $100 for littering. Both private motorists and public transport operators have the authority to monitor the actions of their passengers and prevent littering. While bus companies can place signs and garbage bins within buses, it still takes responsible people to stop littering. Remember, no one likes a litter bug. Help to put garbage in its proper place.
A message from the Solid Waste Management Authority, the Ministry of Natural Resources and the Environment, and the Pan American Health Organization.
Every year, thousands of people travel to foreign countries because of a promise for a better life. Many times, however, the promise of better wages, a better job, and a better life for themselves and their families turns out to be a lie. They become victims of human trafficking. You could be a victim of trafficking if your employer or someone acting on his or her behalf is holding your passport, cedula, birth certificate, or other travel documents with or without your consent. Someone has tricked or forced you to leave your country. You are not told the truth about the kind of work you are doing. You are forced to work in order to pay off a loan debt. A stranger has paid for or helped you to get your visa. If you or someone you know is a victim of human trafficking, visit or call the Ministry of Human Development Office or the nearest police station.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life, as you know it, is completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today. Learn how at www.nemo.org.bz.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, thanks for tuning in. More top news stories now. It is well known that Belize is a melting pot of cultures. But how often is it that you're immersed in all the various cultures in the same place at the same time? Such an opportunity presented itself at the culmination of the annual Cultural Awareness Week, hosted by the Youth Hostel at Mile 21 on the Western Highway. Residents and staff offered an assortment of colorful and meaningful presentations on Friday, 11th November to bring the week to a close. Rudy Aguilar has more.
It was a festive day of colors, song and dance as residents and staff of the Youth Hostel offered the public a sample of what the youths have been learning and working on. And I am still wondering how these ladies managed to keep these bottles from falling off their heads. Of course, there was also a sample of what to expect on this coming November 19th. There was plenty of food, drinks, and much more. Patty May Bainton, a teacher at the Youth Hostel, explained that all this is done in an effort to reinforce just how wide-encompassing our Belizean culture is.
All week we have been doing presentations here on the compound, and today we decided to do a grand opening showcasing what all the cultures entail, all their history, their food, the way they prepare their food and so forth. But the Creole, they're displaying basically their food, rice and beans, bilop, and all their sweets, and that is going on throughout all the other booths. They're displaying information that we covered from Monday to Wednesday, and then we're also showing how we prepare the food and giving some free samples of the food from each culture.
For Belmopan Weekly, I am Rudy Aguilar.
The open day culminated a week of activities which started on November 7th. Energy Awareness Week was celebrated from 6th to the 12th of November, and several activities were carried out to commemorate this important affair. One of the events was the banner-themed poster competition, which was won by 3 students from Our Lady of Guadalupe High School in Belmopan. To reward them for their efforts, the Ministry of Natural Resources sponsored a trip to the Belcogen facility in Orange Walk.
This ebullient crowd of students from Our Lady of Guadalupe RC High School from Belmopan were treated to a field trip at the Belize Cogeneration Belcogen facility in Orange Walk Town. After being outfitted with mandatory safety equipment consisting of hard hats, goggles, earplugs, and dust masks, they were off. First, they were taken to the water reservoir. Then, it was the generator and turbines room. Next were the boilers, conveyors, and the fuel, the bagasse. They were then taken to the lab and also shown the control room. After the tour, Mr. Jose Kawich explained expansively what Belcogen is and its importance to our country.
Out of the total energy supply in the country, right, that 332.7 then accounted for 45% of the total energy supply that stayed within the country of Belize. Right, this is only electricity that was generated within Belize. Right, we accounted for 128.5 kilobars of oil equivalent, and that is about 37%, right? A little over a third of the entire country's power generation or electricity generation.
At the end of it all, the students were better informed and happy to have been on the tour.
I'm glad to come to Bogatin and learn that they are producing 13% of the energy of Belize, BBL, and I'm really glad that we were able to come to Bogatin.
Well, I learned that now we produce energy, renewable energy, and it's an advantage for us, and Bagaz being the major one.
We'll be right back with more Belmopan Weekly in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
We regret to inform you that there are no vacancies at this time. You have no skill or experience. You are not prepared.
This position requires a high school diploma.
We're not interested. Try again next month or come back next week.
There are no job openings at this time.
I'm sorry, but we cannot accept him back this year.
We are only as strong as the foundation we are built upon. Remember, as a society, we reap what we sow. However, it's never too late to engage our youths positively and support their dreams and aspirations. For more information on support services for families of children at risk of coming in conflict with the law, contact the Community Rehabilitation Department at 223-2716. This message is brought to you by the Community Rehabilitation Department, the National Committee for Families and Children, and UNICEF.
Public transportation is a vital service essential to the functionality and productivity of our country. Public servants travel to and from the capital, farmers carry their wares from their rural outposts to urban marketplaces, and students also rely on buses to get them to school and back home safely. Belmopan Weekly's Claudia Groch visited the Ministry of Transport to find out how they are dealing with some of the issues affecting public transport.
Transportation, being a vital part of every Belizean's productivity, is a major factor in our day-to-day lives. Since this government was elected in 2008, public transportation has been a key priority. One major accomplishment in the public transportation sector is the active inclusion of all stakeholders. What is the government's role and focus in public transportation? Who are the key stakeholders in this tripartite sector? The Chief Transport Officer, Mr. Garrett Murillo, explained.
If you start with public transportation, you have to look at who are the stakeholders. You have the government, the department, and the Ministry of Transport, who are the regulators. You have the bus companies, who are the providers of the service, and then you have the commuters, who are the people who use the service. And so our role is to, as I said, regulate, and so we have to be in constant communication with the commuters and with the bus companies so as to ensure an effective and an efficient service is being provided to the people who ride the buses every day.
Government, being the regulator, has been working tirelessly to ensure an effective, efficient, and safe public transportation service. The Honorable Melvin Halls elaborated.
The undeniable fact is that the zoning and the structure have eliminated racing between bus people, therefore have ensured greater safety. We try to have as many, for want of a better choice of word, as many grassroots people to have the so-called piece of the pie. Okay? We have removed this monopoly control of buses. What we have done, we've gotten the softwares, we're getting better, we're getting more secure driver's license, we will be getting the softwares to implement registration, eliminate all as much as possible stolen vehicles. We have been, as you can see, we've been fixing up the bus terminals, we're painting up, fixing back bathroom, try to maintain the infrastructure of the terminal, which helps control a lot of things. We're trying to increase as much as time the breathalyzer.
The Ministry of Transport has diligently been implementing policies and structures. There have been countless meetings with bus owners and providers to come to terms on the equitable distribution of bus runs geared towards optimal efficiency in the public bus service. The Chief Transportation Officer voiced the importance of commuters playing a crucial role assisting in the government in providing the best possible service.
We would like to have some direct contact with commuters that they can give us their feedback, whether it be the formation of some association of commuters, or whether it be by some people volunteering to be some sort of on-the-road inspectors, you could say, you know, just regular commuters who ride the buses every day, who would be able to provide reports directly to the transport department without the operators or without anybody else knowing that they are doing such. You know, that would help us greatly in regulating, you know, in assisting us with how we regulate the operators.
The Chief Transportation Officer went on to express how bus owners and providers can further be contributors to the efficient running of the public transportation system.
We would also like to see, you know, some further cooperation from the operators. I mean, we all know what the laws are and what the regulations are. We would like to see more compliance from their side. You know, that would make our job a lot easier.
For Belmopan Weekly, I am Claudia Grouch.
If you are a commuter and would like to voice a concern, have an issue, or would like to assist the Department of Transportation, you can contact them at 822-2038 or 822-2219. Since taking office, this government has made it a point to recognize people who not only have contributed to the welfare of the country in one way or another, but have also uplifted themselves for the sake of a noble cause. Rudy Aguilar has a profile of the latest to enjoy the limelight.
Let us hear from Dr. Marjorie Parks, EDD.
Dr. Marjorie Elizabeth Joseph Parks is the Deputy Director of Health Services and Chief Nursing Officer in the Ministry of Health. But last week, she was the focus of all media cameras as a special ceremony in recognition of her attainee doctorate level in her field was held for her at the Radisson Fort George Hotel. For the occasion, no less than Acting Prime Minister Honorable Gaspar Vega sent a glowing congratulatory message to Dr. Parks. It was read by Mrs. Cathy Godinez.
The Nurses Association of Belize has informed the Office of the Prime Minister that you have successfully completed a Doctorate of Education program, Nova Southeastern University. Please accept our sincere congratulations on your academic accomplishment. With all good wishes for success in your future endeavors, I remain sincerely Honorable Gaspar Vega, Acting Prime Minister.
Immediately after the ceremony, we asked Dr. Parks to share with us her feelings and emotions.
Now I am completely overwhelmed. That was such an awesome recognition ceremony. I didn't expect it. I feel humbled and I feel very much appreciated. As I've said to someone, I have done this not only for me, but this is for the nursing profession. This is for Belize, this is for the region, and in fact global. The study that I did is entitled The Organizational Commitment of Nurses in Belize. I wanted to look at a way how to retain nurses, what would make nurses remain and work, and organizational commitment is one such thing. I must say that the results of the study show that most of our nurses are committed and they don't have any intentions of leaving right now.
Dr. Parks completed her doctoral degree and was conferred with a Doctor of Education degree in September of this year, making history by being the first Belizean nurse to attain a doctoral degree in that field. For Belmopan Weekly, I am Rudy Aguilar.
Dr. Parks has been working in the health field for the past 35 years and has held various positions in the nursing profession, including staff nurse, working mainly on the pediatric and surgical wards and casualty departments. She plans to continue providing her services to her people here in Belize. Well, that's it for another edition of Belmopan Weekly. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to provide feedback or send in your comments, please feel free to email us at production@pressoffice.gov.bz or visit our Facebook page and let us know what you think. We look forward to hearing from you. Have a great week until next time. I'm Caroline Crawford.